Hello, everyone. So today I'm here to discuss this topic of POPQ, that is pelvic organ prolapse quantification. And I have tried to make it as simple as possible. And this is also a very recent exam question, which came in Mrcog Part 3. It came as a teaching station where you had to teach your junior about the POPQ system and then how to measure the stages of prolapse. Okay, so I have tried to make it really very, very simple. So what is POPQ system? This was developed by the International Continence Society to know the stage and degree of pelvic organ prolapse. It is based on the position of the most distal part or most leading part of the prolapse during straining. Earlier, we used to classify pelvic organ prolapse, which was based on Shaw's classification like cystocele or rectocele, but that was a very subjective way of classification. And there was also inter-observer variations. But in this POPQ system, this one is more objective. There is no inter-observer variations. There is less chance of error. And it is internationally accepted, valid for research purpose. Also, it is used to quantify surgical outcomes. Now, in the POPQ system, there is a reference point, that is hymen, which is taken as 0. Okay, this one is the reference point, that is 0. So when the distal part of the prolapse reaches hymen, then we mark it as 0. Any value which is above hymen is taken as a negative value, and any value which is below the hymen is taken as a positive value. For example, if any value is -3, negative -3, it means it is 3 centimeter above or proximal to hymen. If the value is +3, positive, so it means it is 3 centimeter below the hymen. Okay, 0 is at the level of hymen. Any negative value is above the hymen. Any positive value is below the hymen. I hope I'm clear so far. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now, in this POPQ system, there is actually a grid system. What is the grid? This is 3x3 grid system, and there are 9 boxes. So this is the grid system, okay? There are 9 boxes. Every box in this grid has a specific value, and they are not interchangeable. So we have the first row. So in the first row, like all these points are related to the antevaginal wall. And then in the third row, all the points are related to the posterior vaginal wall. And we can take like AA and BA as anterior compartment, AP and BP as posterior compartment, and C and D as middle compartment. Okay, so when we are describing the prolapse, we can say it is anterior compartment prolapse, or if it occurs in the posterior vaginal wall, then we can say it is the posterior compartment prolapse, or if C or D is prolapsed, we can say it is the middle compartment prolapse. So coming to the first row, here just see this small a. So AA means points in the anterior vaginal wall. So AA is the point A in the anterior vaginal wall, BA is point B in the anterior vaginal wall. And in a non-prolapsed uterus, the value is -3 centimeter, -3 centimeter. And CX, that is cervix. Cervix, it is the distal part of the cervix with uterus intact, or there can be cuff in this grid. It is vaginal cuff or vaginal vault. So it is present. We can write cuff when there is no uterus. Okay. And this C is total vaginal length minus 2. I will come to that later. Let's come to the third row. Here, P and P. So P is posterior vaginal wall. AP is point A in the posterior vaginal wall. BP is the point in the posterior. It is point B in the posterior vaginal wall. In a non-prolapsed uterus, the value is again minus 3 centimeter, minus 3 centimeter. And D is the posterior fornix, and it represents the level of uterosacral ligament attachment to the posterior fornix. And in a hysterectomized patient, there is no point D. Okay. Coming to the middle row, GH is the genital hiatus, and this is about 4 centimeter. PV is the perineal body. This is also about 4 centimeter. TVL is the total vaginal length. This is 10 centimeter. So normally this C is TVL minus 2. So 10 minus 2, it is minus 8. The negatives, the values are all negative. Okay. In the first row and in the second row, the values are negative. Likewise, D, that is the posterior fornix, this is also TVL minus 2. Okay. And these values are all positive values. Also, just remember that total vaginal length, this is the only point which is recorded with the prolapsed reduced. All the other points we measure when there is maximum prolapse. But TVL, total vaginal length, we measure this when the prolapse is completely reduced. And in a hysterectomized patient, there is no D. This grid will be empty. There is no D. Okay. I hope I'm clear so far. So let's move further. Now, all the POPQ points, they are recorded during maximum Valsalva maneuver in relation to hymen, except the total vaginal length, which is recorded at rest with the prolapse reduced. Now, in a non-prolapsed uterus, what happens? Like this is the non-prolapsed uterus, and this is the grid of a non-prolapsed uterus. So here, the points AA and point B, or see in the diagram, point AA and B, they will be coinciding and they are minus 3 centimeter. Likewise, point AP and BP on the posterior vaginal wall, they will be coinciding and they will be minus 3 centimeter. And all these points are 3 centimeter above the hymen, so the value is minus 3 centimeter. And C, that is in the anterior vaginal wall, this is minus 8 centimeter. It is TVL minus 2. So total vaginal length is 10 centimeters. So 10 minus 2 will be minus 8 centimeter. It means there is no cervical descent. And when TVL is 10, that is the normal value, there is no vaginal shortening. D is the posterior fornix, and it represents the intact uterosacral cardinal ligament. Okay, so this is the grid. If there is no prolapse, the grid will look like this. So when there is no prolapse, the values of AA and BA, that is in the anterior vaginal wall, it will be minus 3, minus 3. Likewise, in the posterior vaginal wall, it's going to be minus 3 and minus 3 centimeter. The cervix will be 10 minus 2, so it is minus 8 centimeter because the value is minus because there is no prolapse, and this point is minus 8 centimeter above the hymen. Okay, this point C, this is non-prolapsed uterus, it is minus 8 centimeter above the hymen. Okay, and D is minus 10. Okay, it is equal to total vaginal length. Now, coming to the middle row, how we measure the genital hiatus. So suppose this is the external urethral meatus. So, and this is the hymen, okay? So genital hiatus, this is measured from middle of external urethral meatus to posterior margin of hymen. Okay, this one is the genital hiatus. Then what about the perineal body? This one. This is the distance between the posterior margin of hymen to mid-anal opening. This is the mid-anal opening here. Then what about the total vaginal length? This length is from the posterior fornix, that is D, okay, up to hymen, up till here. When point C or D is reduced to its full normal position. Okay, so total vaginal length is the only measurement which is done when the prolapse is completely reduced. All right, so let's move further. What happens in a prolapsed uterus? What could be the maximum extension of AA and AP points? Let's see. Let's go back to this diagram. Just a minute. We have to see points AA and AB. So when there is no prolapse, it is -3 centimeter. This is also -3 centimeter. When there is prolapse, the maximum descent of AA will be up to +3 centimeter and AP will be +3 centimeter. Likewise, point BA and BP, when there is maximum descent, it will be corresponding to the total vaginal length. Okay, BA and BP. We know B is the maximal descent. So AA, when it descends, it comes up to only here, +3 centimeter. AP also, +3 centimeter. But BA, when there is prolapse, it can come down up to here also. It will be +5, +6, +7 centimeters. Similarly, BP can also be like that, +5, +6, +7 centimeters. Okay. And we know that point B is the leading edge of prolapse. What about prerequisites when we are doing the POPQ quantification? We have to take the patient's consent, ask her to empty the bladder, if possible, empty the rectum as well. So first we have to evaluate the maximum prolapse by asking the patient to cough, by doing the Valsalva maneuver, or by giving traction on the prolapse. So with the prolapse reduced, first we have to reduce the prolapse and mark 2 points. These are the 2 fixed points, AA and AP. So what are these points? AA and AP. First we are going to mark these points, AA and AP, with the prolapse completely reduced. After that, we are going to ask the patient to cough, and there will be complete excursion of the prolapse. Everything will come out. Then again, when there is the prolapse, everything is outside. Then again, we are going to measure the points AA and AP, and we are going to measure the points BA and BP, and also C and D. Okay. And also we need to measure genital hiatus and perineal body when there is maximum prolapse. And always remember that total vaginal length is measured with the prolapse reduced. So this is just the flow chart. What we're going to do, the position is important. Like we have to ask the patient to lie down in that position in which there is maximum prolapse. It can be either left lateral position, dorsolateral position, standing position, sitting position. Okay. Then we are going to identify the hymenal remnants. Okay. Because this is the reference plane and it is 0. We know that. Anything above hymen will be negative value. Anything below the hymen is going to be a positive value. So the instruments used are the sim speculum, either single bladed or the double bladed. And first we have to measure the anterior vaginal wall grids. So for that we have to press and depress the posterior vaginal wall. Then ask the patient to push. Then there is a ruler, or there is also POPQ sticks to measure the points AA, BA, and C. And then we are going to give the value with respect to the hymen. After that, we have to measure the values in the posterior vaginal wall in this compartment. So when we are measuring the values in the posterior vaginal wall, we have to depress the anterior vaginal wall. Again, ask the patient to push or bear down and then measure these points, AP, BP, and D, with reference to the hymen. After that, we are going to measure the points GH, genital hiatus, and perineal body. Then we are going to reduce the prolapse, and then we will measure the total vaginal length. Okay. After that, ask the patient to stand and bear down, confirm the descent of the prolapse in relation to the hymen, and then we can stage the prolapse. All right. So next is the POPQ staging. This is staging we need to remember so that in the exam, when any grid is given, we are able to identify in which compartment there is prolapse, whether it is anterior vaginal wall, posterior vaginal wall prolapse, and what is the stage. So just to keep it simple, stage 0 is normal, there is no prolapse. So when there is no prolapse, all the points, AA, AP, BA, BP, these are all minus 3 centimeter. It means they are 3 centimeter above the hymen. And then the point C or D. This is X minus 2. So here X is total vaginal length. It is total vaginal length minus 2. So, and the value is in minus, negative. So if total vaginal length is 10, it's going to be 10 minus 2, that is minus 8 centimeter. So now coming to stage 1. Stage 1 is, just to keep it simple, here the leading edge of the prolapse is less than minus 1 centimeter above hymen. Okay. Stage 2 is where the leading edge of the prolapse is more than or equal to minus 1, but less than or equal to plus 1 centimeter from the hymen. Stage 3 is where the leading edge of the prolapse is more than plus 1 centimeter, but less than total vaginal length minus 2. So if total vaginal length is 10 centimeters, so it will be 10 minus 2, that is 8 centimeter. Less than 8, so it will be plus 1 centimeter to less than plus 8 centimeter. Stage 4 prolapse is where leading edge of prolapse is more than or equal to total vaginal length minus 2 centimeters. So it will be 10 minus 2, so it will be equal to or more than 8 centimeter. So in stage 4, there is complete eversion of the vaginal wall. Stage 3, there is incomplete eversion of the vaginal wall. Okay. So this staging is very important to see the grid and to stage the prolapse. So just see these examples and then we will understand how to read the grid, how to see where is the prolapse, in which compartment, whether there is anterior vaginal wall, posterior vaginal wall prolapse, and what is the stage of the prolapse. So here in this first diagram, come to this anterior vaginal wall. What do you see? Is there any prolapse? No. Why? Because the value is normal. AA is minus 3, BA is minus 3, C is normally total vaginal length minus 2. It is minus 6 centimeter. So there is no prolapse in the anterior vaginal wall. Now coming to the posterior vaginal wall. What do you think? There is prolapse? Yes. So when you see any plus value, always think that either there can be stage 3 or stage 4 prolapse. So here it is, value is plus 2. So what is stage 3 prolapse? Stage 3 prolapse is more than plus 1 up to less than total vaginal length minus 2. So here total vaginal length is 8. So 8 minus 2 is 6. And the value is going to be less than 6 in stage 3 prolapse. So this is your stage 3 prolapse. Okay. Now we will see the maximum value, this one, plus 5. Okay. So B is the maximum descent of the prolapse. This is the maximum value. So in this, there is a stage 3 BP prolapse. I hope you're getting me. Let's see the other example. How are we going to read this grid? So here you see, okay, one more thing here. There is no D. If there is no D, it means patient has been hysterectomized. There is no uterus. Okay. Now coming to the second example. Sorry. In the anterior vaginal wall, the value is plus 3, plus 3, plus 7. So whenever you see such values, plus, plus, plus 7, just think that it could be either stage 3 or stage 4 prolapse. So AA, what we are going to see here in the anterior vaginal wall, stage 3 prolapse is, we know it is more than plus 1 up to less than total vaginal length minus 2. So total vaginal length is 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. So stage 3 will be more than plus 1 up to less than 7. Okay, less than 7. So this is stage 3 prolapse. AA and BA in these compartments, this is stage 3 prolapse. Coming to C, this is plus 7. So this is stage 4 prolapse. How? Because we know in stage 4, we measure it as, it is more than or equal to total vaginal length minus 2. So it will be 9 minus 2, 7 or more. 7 or more. So this is 7. So this is stage 4 prolapse. Okay. This one, there is apical prolapse, stage 4. Coming to your posterior vaginal wall, again, this is stage 3 prolapse and this is the stage 4 prolapse. Okay. Let's see this third diagram. What happens here? Now you see we have two pictures, A and B, two grids, I mean. So in the A grid, A picture, you see the anterior vaginal wall. All the measurements are again in plus. So whenever you see values which are positives, always think about either it is stage 3 or stage 4 prolapse. If this value is plus 3 and plus 8, so plus 3 value is, of course, lesser than plus 8. So as like most likely it's going to be the stage 3 prolapse. How? Because stage 3 prolapse, we know it is more than 1 plus 2 less than TVL minus 2. So 8 minus 2 is 6. So it is less than 6. So it is stage 3 prolapse. Coming to BA, what is stage 4 prolapse? Because the value is big, so go to stage 4. What is stage 4? It is more than or equal to TVL minus 2. TVL is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. Okay, so more than 6 or equal to 6. So this here in BA, it is stage 4 prolapse. Okay, and now coming to this C. Here, if there is no D, it means patient has been hysterectomized. So this is the vaginal cuff prolapse. Likewise here, if there is no D, there is no uterus, so this is the vaginal cuff prolapse or the vaginal vault prolapse. But here, since the value is normal, there is no vaginal vault prolapse. But here, there is vaginal vault prolapse. And what is the stage? Here, again, you see stage 4 is TVL equal to more than TVL minus 2. So 8 minus 2, 6, equal to more than 6. So it is stage 4 vaginal vault prolapse. Here, likewise, now plus 3, we already knew this is also plus 3. So this is also stage 3 prolapse. This is plus 8. This is plus 8. This is stage 4 prolapse. There is no D, so there is no uterus. And if you see genital height is 4.5, so it is little widened because normal values from 3 up to 4. Perineal body is also, the value is up to 4. So if it is 1.5, so perineal body is little shortened. If you see that TVL is less, like 4 or 5, it means that there is shortening of the vaginal length. Okay, but here it is okay. It can be up to 8 to 10. 10 is normal actually. So now come to this grid. When we look at this grid, it is normal, isn't it? Because in a non-prolapsed uterus, there is all the values will be AA, BA will be minus 3, AP and BP will be minus 3. They're all above hymen, okay? So it is minus 3 centimeter. C is minus 8. It is TVL minus 2, so it is minus 8 centimeter. Normal length of the TVL is 10 and D is also equal to TVL. So it is minus 10. So this is the normal grid. And in this there is prolapse. Okay. I hope you people are able to understand. Let's see few more examples. Because in the exam, maybe the junior can ask you to explain any grid, one picture like this. So when you see a grid like this and you see there is no D, it means there is no uterus. So this C is the cuff. It is the vaginal cuff or the vaginal vault. Now, in this, there is prolapse of the anterior vaginal wall, prolapse of the vaginal cuff, and also there is prolapse of the posterior vaginal wall. Now, what is the stage of prolapse? So again, AA is plus 3. So whenever you see the values plus 3 or plus 6, if value is plus 3, go to stage 3. If you see value plus 6, plus 8 like this, most likely it's going to be stage 4. So stage 3 prolapse, again we know it is more than 1 plus up to less than TVL minus 2. So TVL is 6, 6 minus 2 is 4. So less than 4, right? So this is stage 3 prolapse. What is stage 4 prolapse? It is more than or equal to TVL minus 2. So TVL minus 2 is 4. So it is 4 or more. So this is stage 4 prolapse. When you see any value minus, then you think about either it is stage 2 or stage 1 prolapse. So when it is minus 2, so here we know that stage 1 prolapse. What is stage 1 prolapse? This is less than minus 1, okay? Stage 1 prolapse, it is less than minus 1. So this is stage 1 prolapse. Now coming to these values, minus 3. So in the posterior vaginal wall, AP is minus 3. So AP is minus 3, it means there is no prolapse. Okay, this is the normal value. But BP is minus 2. So minus 2 here. Just again remember the stage of the prolapse. Is it stage 1 or stage 2? So we know that stage 1 is less than -1, isn't it? So this is less than -1. So this is stage 1 prolapse. Here also it is stage 1 prolapse. All right, and there is no D, it means there is no uterus. All right. So here we are going to take this is the maximum stage 4 prolapse. Okay. And this BP is stage 1 prolapse. Okay, let's see another example. Here again, when we look at this grade, we can see there is no normal values. So there is prolapse in the anterior vaginal wall, there's prolapse in the posterior vaginal wall. Okay. And there is, this is minus. I mean, there is no D, it seems. Okay. So when you see any positive number, which is quite big, +7, +8, +6, always think that most likely it is going to be stage 4 prolapse. So let's see this one, BA. It is +8. What is stage 4 prolapse? It is more than or equal to TVL -2. So what is the TVL here? It is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. So it is more than or equal to 6. So this is BA stage 4 prolapse. Similarly, this is 8. So this is the vaginal cuff. Again, this is stage 4. So there is complete eversion. Likewise, any value is 8. Yes, this is also 8. So BP also, it is stage 4 prolapse. It is 6 or more. Now coming to AA, it is +3. So what is stage 3? It is more than +1 up to less than TVL -2. So 8 minus 2 is 6. So it is less than 6, right? So this is stage 3 prolapse. This is also stage 3 prolapse. Okay. And we know when D is empty, it means there is no uterus. So here it is stage 4 prolapse. There is complete eversion. This is also stage 4 prolapse. And when there is stage 3 prolapse, there is incomplete eversion of the vaginal wall. Now, again, let's see this example. So again, whenever you see any positive value in the exam, and if the value is quite big, always think that this could be stage 4 prolapse. And at a glance, when you see that there is no -3 here, no -3 here, no -3, no -3. So yes, there is prolapse here in every compartment, here and here also, okay? But when you see any value, -3 here, if it is -3 here, -3 here, -3, so there is no prolapse in this anterior compartment, AABA, and in AP and BP, okay? So at a glance, try to see whether there is prolapse or not. So here, yes, there is prolapse. Here, yes, there is prolapse. But what is the stage of the prolapse? Now, there is no value given here, but we know this is AA, this is BA, this is anterior vaginal wall. So AABA, this is the cervix, and this is AP, BP, this is the posterior vaginal wall, and this is the D. So if D is there, it means there is uterus, okay? Now, again, you can start with the big numbers, +5. It is most likely stage 4 prolapse. So again, stage 4 prolapse is more than or equal to TVL -2. So 7 minus 2 is 5. So it is more than or equal to 5. So this is stage 4 prolapse. And the cervix also, this is stage 4 prolapse. This BP is also stage 4 prolapse. Now D is also stage 4 prolapse, because we know 7 minus 2 is 5. Any value 5 or more will be stage 4 prolapse. And what is stage 3? Stage 3 is more than +1 up to less than TVL minus 2. So less than 7 minus 2, 5, less than 5. So this number is less than 5. This number is also less than 5. So this is most likely, not most likely, this is stage 3 prolapse. Okay. So I hope I'm clear, and I've tried to make it as simple as possible. So to quantify, we have to remember few things. That the normal grid, we have to remember all these values. That in a non-prolapsed uterus, these values AA, BA, AP, BP, these are all minus 3 centimeters. And C is TVL minus 2, which is minus 8 centimeter, TVL is 10, and D, that is the posterior fornix, is minus 10. And then how we are going to stage the prolapse. So for that, we have to remember this staging. And then whenever you see any grid, if in the exam, suppose you get this grid, then by looking at it, we can see that there is prolapse, because AABA, it is not minus 3, this is not minus 3. So there is prolapse here. And when you see this grid, so when you see the anterior vaginal wall, this is minus 3, this is minus 3. So it means that there is no prolapse. So at a glance, just try to observe whether there is prolapse or not. And if there is prolapse, whether it is in the anterior vaginal wall or in the posterior vaginal wall. Like here, there is no prolapse in the anterior vaginal wall because now we know the normal values. But here there is prolapse in the posterior vaginal wall. So when you see such positive values, and if the positive value is big, plus 5, plus 6, plus 7, plus 8, then most likely it's going to be the stage 4 prolapse. If the value is plus 2, plus 3, most likely it's going to be the stage 3 prolapse. If the value is minus 1, minus 2, then you have to see it is either like stage 2 prolapse, stage 1 prolapse. Okay. So I hope I was able to make it clear, and I hope you people are able to understand the POPQ, because I got request from many candidates to like make a PowerPoint presentation and just explain it in a simple way, and I have tried to do that. Okay. And thank you. I hope it was really helpful. Okay. Thank you.